You watch as she comes and joins across your sitting arrangement, pulls the hood back over her shoulders, smiles a bit before leaning forward. It is good to see you, Brian.
It's good to see you. Have a seat. Thank you for meeting me on such short notice. I don't know, I'm very nervous here. More than I have been on our past meetings. I've sort of been trying to rehearse all day what I would talk to you about here. And none of it seems appropriate. Things okay here after dinner?
She kind of glances about the room. They've been interesting. You and your friends traveled to Isocross at the behest of Ves Drogna.
We did. Come on, let's dance. And take her by the hand and lead her out into the middle of the floor.
She goes along with it. And as you both begin to dance, and the tune here is a little more of a rhythmic sway, so it's easy enough to engage, but interesting. It's been a while since you've been in a position to try and lead, but your partner is also often switching and taking the lead. There's almost a duel within the duet of a dance. As she kind of comes by and brushes past your ear and whispers, keeping it covert while looking over your shoulder. Ludinus has been keeping an eye. Never one to trust Ves. So he requested you be tracked by Vostraka. So he followed you.
How far did you get?
Well, quite a bit until you came to a base of a mountain range and turned into birds. It's hard for us to follow those who polymorph. But you need to be careful. Ludinus is very well aware of what has become of Ves. Knows of your proximity. Just be careful.
What does Ludinus know of her condition?
I do not know. I just know that no one has heard from her in the assembly for weeks. And you are the last to leave with them.
I struggle with trust. And I want very much to trust you. I think we both know that's not entirely possible.
Not if we're both to stay alive.
What I wanted for the Empire as a child is different than what I want for the Empire today. And I would hazard a guess that what you and I want for the Empire is similar in some ways, but different in many others. I turn her around and scan the room.
Four? Scan
where
four.
Everyone is.
You can make out everybody except for... Oh, you can make a perception check.
18.
18. You see Yasha in the corner. You see dancing not far from you, Jester in her illusory form. You see Caduceus having a seat in sipping from a drink, and that's all you can see within the chamber. But all eyes are in your direction, and they're keeping a close watch.
I care very much for the friendship that we once had. But I don't trust you entirely, and I'm sure you do not trust me. And yet, I have come here today to ask you a favor. A few weeks ago, the number one thing on my mind was trying to sort out the pieces after that peace treaty and how to improve things here at home. And all that is gone. My friends and I, we are getting wrapped up in something. A danger. A very real danger that includes the survival of the Empire, the Kryn, all of us. There is something terrible coming out of the north. Something that has no preference for nation. And this is going to be so hard to swallow and overlook, but I need your help. We are in a race with a ticking clock to stop a very real threat from being unleashed. And we're being tracked. In fact, I may be watched at this very moment, which means you may be. Do you still wear one of these?
Her eyes kind of still pass by yours, and she grabs your hand and begins leading you, and the dynamic of the dance has shifted. And as she brings your hand up across the shoulder, you see it brush past a cord on her neck where a similar medallion briefly drifts out before it slides back beneath the shawl. She spins you around and pulls you in, and switching into Zemnian, just says, "These are odd times indeed. But this confusion is advantageous.
If there is any love left between us, I need more of these." And I just lay my head against her head and dance for a moment. Not forever. Not for anything against the Empire or you. My differences with you, we'll save them for a later day. But I need enough of these for my friends. For a few weeks, maybe. So that we can go unnoticed. And I promise you, as the boy that I once was, and the love that the three of us shared, I mean no harm against the Empire, or you, now, and I will bring them back. I'm begging, Astrid.
As you kind of leaned into her, there's a brief moment where, even though you're still dancing, her body kind of seizes briefly, that kind of limber sway to the beat, clams up ever so slightly. You feel her hand kind of touch your back and shoulder, and she falls back into lockstep with you and listens. There's that pause. And she just leans into your ear. You're just kind of cheek to cheek, not even looking at each other. I'll see what I can do. Just know there are eyes on you. Which means either we're walking into their trap, or you beat them at their own game.
As she says those things, and we're dancing around the room, I spot Jester and watch. Tracking her insane dance moves until we spin away. And then I pull back a bit.
As you pull back, she pulls back a bit too. You can see her kind of like right herself and smile, putting on that formal mask, that veneer that you've seen before. It drops again briefly. She looks at you once more in Zemnian and says, I know you're here. It could be an opportunity. If you strike first. Well, it was good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And, well, maybe we'll catch up some other time.
Fräulein.
Cheers, Brian. She puts her hood up and goes to exit the location. You watch her exit and head out.
I follow.
Ooh.
Okay.
I across the beams, slink down one of the walls, trailer out the front entrance a little bit.
Okay.
As I see Bo leave, I'm like,
No, she's invisible.
oh, no, it's
I will kind of
JK.
You just, you swallow, you accidentally inhale some of that spit, and you're like,
I'll give Ford like a little like pop on the shoulder though. Like, recognize that'd be cool. Jeez.
ghosts! Like sneaking up on a camera.
Right in the tit.
I track just for a little bit.
alrighty. You follow her for about 7 or 8 minutes before you see her kind of veer off the road a bit and head into just a small, not even an alley, but a little pocket between two buildings.
Alley, pocket. Okay, got it.
Heading down alley.
Dude, I might need to find this again.
Side.
Go.
Okay. As you kind of catch around the side, about 3-4 feet.
3 or 4 feet.
Within this side pocket, you see her now kind of back against the wall, sitting on the ground, knees close to the chest, and she's just kind of curled up in a ball.
How long does she sit there?
About 5 or 6 minutes or so.
Does she seem deeply conflicted, clearly? Or like, what is her...
Good. Good job.
Deeply conflicted? I don't know.
Not to be projecting on her or anything. Yeah.
Make an insight check.
She seemed like she has a big day tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you touch somebody and they're on an illusionary spell, you can tell that
Okay.
that's not them.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. 15? 16?
Pretty good.
You see,
It's okay.
in the low light, at this point in the day, it's a little challenging to pick up most of the details of her expressions, the physicality. It's hard to tell, but she spends a good 5-6 minutes or so sitting there,
Is she
just
crying?
kind of.
She's crying, isn't she? She's crying, you guys. Okay.
It's hard to tell. But you're caught off guard as she abruptly sits up, stands, kind of brushes herself off,
Alley poop.
and then beelines kind of in your direction.
I hug the wall.
She continues by, and
Peek around the corner. Is she heading for the towers?
she's heading towards the deeper exterior of where the candles are, yeah.
I head back.